we've talked about it for a couple of years, and we've gradually disclosed more detail, and we're going to disclose and share quite a few details with you on AX7 today. We are on track to make AX7 available to the marketplace by the end of this year. And one of the things that is exciting to me is, while we are so focused on cloud, the definition of cloud is pretty broad. So we're talking about public cloud, private cloud, and also customers' own data centers. Yep. So you'll be able to run this in your own data centers, not only running as cloud solution, and you'll be able to run these hybrid environments where you maybe have one part of your organization that run production on premises, and you have another part of your organization, maybe in another part of the world, that run the cloud, and we can connect the two things. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. We have a few guiding principles for AX7. And those of you that were awake when we started the session here today, and those of you that could follow the back and forth between slides, could see this slide in the beginning. You could also see this slide yesterday. So what is the guiding principle and the vision for Microsoft All Up is also the exact set of guiding principles that we are applying to AX7. It's about more personal computing and allow people to do their jobs where they are on the devices they use. It's about productivity in both personal productivity but also business processes. And then it's about leveraging the intelligence of the cloud. Yeah. Now, Dan, I know that an area that you are particularly passionate about is, because we are staying consistent with the business process, the business logic and the data model, the impact and the productivity improvements that we can get through other means. You're going to say a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was the lucky one when we drew straws, so I get to demo AX7, the new client. So really, I'm extremely excited to show you this. I think the product has made tremendous progress.
Show us.
Okay, let's move on. So here's the first view of AX7, and I think these three themes of more personal, reinventing business process and productivity, as well as this predictive and this system of intelligence. We'll talk about all three. They all really work together, but let's dive in and do something. Obviously, you get this nice panorama view that gives you a number of actions. This panorama, this dashboard, can be tuned to your individual use, so the things that you do on a regular basis can be populated inside this dashboard. You notice up in the top left-hand corner of the screen, this is running in an Azure data center. It's in our North Central data center. And it's running in IE, but it could certainly run in Safari, Firefox, or Chrome. Now, for the first very simple demo, I'm just going to go into this prepare purchase order workspace, and I'm going to act like I'm Alicia. And Alicia, this is where personal computing in a business scenario really starts. You know role centers. If you're with AX before, you can think about this as the modern version and next generation of role centers, an immersive experience where for somebody like Alicia, who is spending all of her time procurement, she's going to be able to do a number of things within this workspace. And it really doesn't matter if she's on the road and she's visiting a vendor or she's sitting inside the office. So she may need to, create a new purchase order, and I can use the mouse, I can use a touch screen. And the thing you'll notice about this is when you see the create purchase order, it's very similar to what you're used to in AX 2012. So as Christian mentioned, the data model and the business logic are largely the same. So if you're on AX 2012, this will really expedite your move to AX7 and ultimately to the cloud with AX7. So another nice feature here is when Alicia, let's suppose Alicia is out on the road and she gets interrupted and somebody says, look, I know I have this order that I need to get confirmed. She may want to do that very quickly, and one of the things she can do, she can go into this simplified list, and if she types in the vendor, she can filter on it, and then she gets this filter. She doesn't have to drill down. She can actually just hover over, and she gets this preview mode. So what we're trying to do is get a lot of these tasks very quickly done, all within the confines of this workspace. And so if she wants to look, she knows that it's a crossover that needs to be expedited and get confirmed. She can click on this purchase order, she can confirm it, and she's done. And then she can go back into her dashboard if she has other things she wants to do, like employee self-service, expenses, and so on. So that's a very brief introduction to AX7 and the general user experience. This wonderful panoramic dashboard, these workspaces that allow you to work and do things very, very efficiently, and obviously the personal side of that. And in this case for Alicia, focusing on procurement. Now there are a couple other things that I think are really interesting. You probably noticed we call this the hamburger. This is something that is used across most Microsoft applications that are cloud-based. You see this in Office 365. And so you see the navigation pane over on the left-hand side. We have the favorites. I can add or subtract favorites as I want, adding to that personal computing and that personalization experience. I have recent things that I've gone to. And so that gives you an idea of how the flexibility for the individual users, just some nice productivity features overall in the user experience. So that's kind of just the basic overview.
So do you quickly want to show us the search, the metadata search experience?
Sure, right. So another thing that you can do is, if I want to, I can go into this, if I want to prepare this procurement, I can actually search on the metadata, and it will list every dashboard, every workspace, and every document screen that is in the entire application. So I can either use the dashboard, I can use the navigation pane, or I can use the metadata search to find things in the application very, very quickly.
How do you like this? You like it? And there's one thing that we haven't shown yet, like if I'm running multiple screens.
Yeah. Yeah, this is something that we talked about a lot. We knew it was a little bit of a difficult thing to do. In AX 2012 with the rich client, particularly in production scenarios, people will do side by side, and it's sort of a how you deal with that in a browser-based environment. And Srina's team came up with a very clever model for that. So let me actually go ahead and go into a workspace that is designed for Tony, who is a production manager. Now, when Tony comes into his workspace for discrete production, you'll see there are a number of things that he's doing here is quite a bit different from what Alicia would do. He may want to go in and look at released products. He notices that there are some bombs and routes that may not be active. And he also notices that he has this expiring bomb. And obviously this expiration concerns him because it's in the middle of this week, so he may want to do something about it. So when I click on this bomb to get a little bit more information, and I go into the screen, you'll notice up here on the right-hand side, first of all, actually, I just want to point out this fact box. He notices that one of the reasons for this bomb expiration is this product change request. This is something actually that we improved in 2012 R3, CU8. And he notices that there's a request, the cost of this product is too high because of one of the elements of the bill of materials. Now what he can do is he can press this pop-up window, and it'll open the window, it'll pop it up, new. Let's get out of this. And then I can dock things. And now I have a side-by-side experience. So if I want to stay in this panoramic view on the workspace, or if I want to work on the document directly, and in this case, if I want to go in and actually change the bomb, let's say I talk to the production person on the floor, and I say, look, I'm okay with this, this cost for the time being. Let's go ahead and update the bomb so we can keep production going, and I'll find a different, a different product source so that we can actually reduce the cost of this. And then once I'm done, I can pop out, go back to my panorama workspace, and I'm done. And so this gives you that very nice side-by-side experience that somebody like Tony in a production environment would actually want when he's interacting with things like MRP or actually evaluating things that are in production in the manufacturing facility. Now, there are a couple other things that I didn't mention before that I thought would be interesting. The first is, we like AX7, so we're going to tell all the people back in Redmond and around the world who've been working on this. By the way, they're doing a fabulous job. We're just going to say we like this. Go us. The other thing is there are a number of options that you have here. Personalization is obviously very important. One of the things that I really love about AX7 is just a beautiful experience. And when you have, dare I say, an emotional connection with your user experience, it actually can make a big difference between how much you enjoy your work or don't. And I know Sri's a big fan of pink. We'll do pink just for a second.
Anything wrong with that, guys?
No. Although, just for the sake of the audience, we'll go back to something that is a little a little less hot, dare I say. Anyway, so just a couple of things from a personalization standpoint. One of the nice features, by the way, I just want to say thank you. There are a number of customers and partners that have really been helping us do usability studies on this. One of the things that they really like is the ability to change the company very quickly. And I'm actually going to do this because I'm going to show you another piece of the user experience. So really, really nice experience from the side-by-side and a couple of other elements, whether it's the options for personalization as well as the ability to change the company.
Very exciting.
Yeah. You guys want to see some more?
So that was a lot of focus on productivity. Just the improvements to productivity that these new experiences provide.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about the intelligent cloud.
Yeah, so
how's the intelligent cloud coming together in AX7?
So this is, Satya talked about this yesterday, this is Power BI. And this is a very, very wonderful palette for capturing analytical data and being able to interact with it. And when you're talking about system intelligence, you obviously have to capture the right data, and then you have to surface it in a format, either an aggregate or in visual pictures here to help you manage your business. Now, in this case, I'm using a service industry as an example. And we're using the role of a practice manager. And a practice manager is typically going to live with analytical data. And he or she is going to look on a regular basis and try to figure out what's going on with the business. Now, let me just back up for a second. How is this built? In AX7, we've introduced a technology called data entities. And data entities will expose an OData version 4 feed that can be then consumed by Power BI, and actually it's relatively straightforward to build up these types of visual KPIs and reports. So the thing that I notice here very quickly is on my gross margin year to date, I have this unfortunate thing that obviously my actual hours that I'm billing are going up, but you see that my gross margin is not going up, it's going down, and that's the wrong direction. And so I might want to drill in. Here's another point of view. It's the same set of data, and now it's being shown to you a little bit differently. And with Power BI, you get this really nice experience. You can start filtering, and you can obviously do this on a touch screen or a mouse or multiple devices. Now, one of the things we notice, if you pay attention to the right-hand side of this, is as I click from Q1, I'll see my actual revenues just under 28 million, and my cost is about 18 million. And when I go to Q2, I notice the revenue here is about the same, but my cost really has gone up. And I need to drill into that, and I'll probably work with my project manager to figure it out. But there are other things that I can do here. This is something that Satya showed. This is a bubble graph, and if you look at the x-axis, you'll see the cash flow for a particular project. And on the y-axis, you'll see the gross margin. And this bottom left-hand corner is obviously quite concerning. It's if I click on this first one, this is the East Side Department Store. And as a practice manager, I know we have a lot of projects with East Side Department Store. And I noticed this second one, the gross margin in Q2 for the customer is actually quite low. And so I'm going to want to drill into that. So one of the ways you can do that, and obviously if I'm a project manager, I'm going to be working much more with the transactional data. So if I go into the project manager, now I'm acting as Prakash. Prakash gets a phone call and he's asked, hey, look, I need to understand these costs a lot better. And what you notice here is Prakash is going to get the transactional and action capabilities on the left-hand side, and also the list of active projects that he might be working on, as well as some business intelligence embedded directly within this workspace.
I think there's only one way we can stop that from going, and that's if you show something that is at least as exciting. Is something you want to show?
I can't stop. I don't think you can stop. Actually, did you notice the auto clip?
I'm just relaxing and enjoying my work and his work. So it's very, very, very appreciated.
Well, let me end there. I'm getting my cue apparently. The point is, obviously the next step in the demo is I'll drill down into the projects. I'll take a look at those projects, look at some cost items, and I can take action on it right there. So how about that for AX7?
That's awesome.
So one thing I want to